All right, joining us is the sports director at Maribyrnong Sports Academy, Mark McAllion. Mark, welcome to you, and dare I say it, here we are again.
We are. So obviously, there are some things you can control and some things you can't. And this one we obviously can't. But yes, we're back into lockdown again. Let's see how we go.
Exactly. This time should be a little bit easier, should it, now that we've already done it once?
Oh, certainly a little bit easier where we've, had the experience of working online with students, developing resources, that sort of stuff. So I think we're in a better place than we were last time. Certainly. So, I think the teachers and the academy staff have got much more idea on how to best engage and work with students from home. Try and get the most out of what's a challenging situation.
And I think it'd be fair to say that most of us didn't think that we would be in this situation a second time round. So this time around, we're probably just feeling that little bit flatter and that little bit more gutted, I suppose, that we're actually here again. Do you have any words of advice for our students and how they should tackle the next 6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah, look, I've been thinking about that a lot because I'm like a lot of people feeling, fairly flat with going back into lockdown. But I've been trying to think about it from a sporting context, I suppose. And in your sporting career, you have to overcome a number of setbacks. If that's injury, if that's selection issues, if that's poor performances. So to be successful at the elite level in any sport, you've got to find ways to overcome those types of obstacles and really be resilient. So I encourage all our student athletes to think of this challenge, maybe the way they tackle challenges within their sport. Really be confident that you've got the ability to get through this period, set some really strong routines and get into that routine of, your schoolwork and your training and the time to relax, etc. Keep up your physical training, and if that's the sessions with our ADP staff, and also making the most of the 1 hour outside of the home, go for a walk or a run or a bike ride with a friend or a family member. Set aside some time to relax and just chill out. Use your support networks and reach out for help if you need it. There's a lot of support and help available through the academy and other networks that I know our student athletes have. So really encourage you, if you're not feeling great about something or you think there's something that someone can help you with, please reach out. And the last thing would be, be a great team player. What I mean by that is, what can you do within your home to help your family, but maybe, staying connected with your friends. So make sure you're doing what you can to make this situation as good as it can be for others that you're connected with as well. And I think if you do those sort of things, which are great team-oriented type values or sport-related type things you can do, I think it make it easier for yourself and certainly easier for those that are around you.
Mark, great advice. Thank you for your time. We're going to be doing this on a fortnightly basis this time around, so we'll have a few more episodes to come, and we look forward to keeping everyone entertained and informed.
Great. Thanks, Tony. Keep up the good work.
Right, joining us on MSA News is Wilson Berry, all the way from the States, after being announced that he'll be going to university in Kentucky to continue his career as a punter in the NFL. Wilson, congratulations, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Tony. Thanks for having me.
What a big week last week was with the announcement through social media and the like. Were you surprised at the amount of response that you got from people?
Yeah, I was quite surprised. It sort of blew up on Twitter a fair bit, and it was quite a shock.
It's a great thing. Tell us what it involves for you in regards to being at Kentucky.
So what it involves, Kentucky's a team in the SEC conference. It's probably the major conference in American college football. So. To play there, stadium's 70,000 odd, and we're in a conference with Georgia and Florida Gators. We're going to be playing some big crowds and some big games. So, opportunity to play there is it's quite unreal. It's just sinking in, I guess.
100,000 people stadium, I believe, there. That's there's some big
Yes.
games. You're right.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Georgia football, their record capacity is 111,000. So a lot to look forward to.
It's playing at the MCG on grand final day every week, isn't it? It's amazing.
That's it. It's quite unbelievable, coming from that Australian sporting background to try and understand just how big of an event it is.
Let's wind the clock back a couple of years to your final year here at Maribyrnong, and I think you were part of the Western Jets at the time, captain of the Western Jets in that under-18 year, and then didn't get taken in the draft. What was your thought process at that point in time about the AFL and where that was going to lead for you?
Yeah, it was tough. Obviously, all the work that had done at Maribyrnong and the Western Jets was all leading up to that point. Unfortunately, 18's year, it didn't quite come off. And looking back on it, I was quite lost for probably a week after that. And then had the decision, talked to my family and Tyron Baker, a former coach at Maribyrnong, they were real positive in saying, sort of go after it. And, with an offer from Essendon VFL, it felt like I wasn't too far away and the opportunity was still close. So that's ultimately the decision I chose.
3 years at Essendon VFL, that would have been a good time for you, playing with guys who are on an AFL list. So working with professionals, you would have got a fair bit out of that.
Yeah, it was. So my first year, I'd only just turned 18 and going in, and I was playing with guys like Brent Stanton and Heath Hocking, who I actually got him to sign my footy cards before the game started. So it was quite different. 5 games in my first year, it was quite unreal to sort of be with those senior blokes. And then, once I got to years 2 and 3, those sort of players were starting to move on, and it was a real chance to sort of step up. And we had a pretty young group at Essendon VFL, and we did quite well. So 2 prelim finals in 2 years. So we're not too far off.
3 years, as we said, at Essendon VFL. The decision then to move on to Plan B, I suppose. How did that come about?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a frustrating year last year. Had a groin issue late in the year, and was having some trouble with meniscus in the knee as well. So sort of struggling to stay ready and on the park and sort of compete at that level. Once that year had finished, I sort of weighed it up and said, I felt like I was closer to doing bigger things down this pathway of punting rather than, bigger things in the AFL pathway. So, yeah, that's where the decision came from.
So you worked with Nathan Chapman and the guys at Pro Kick and got your game right. Also, I suppose a bit of an advantage having a brother who's already in the NFL as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't speak highly enough of Nathan Chapman and John Smith, what they've been able to do and put together. It's it's quite unreal what they can do for Australian boys coming into provide them an education as well as play football at an extremely high level. Yeah, it obviously helps having a brother, tips and tricks, all that. It is quite a different sport, but I'm getting my head around it, and I'm ready to compete.
Out of school for the last 3 or 4 years, now you go back into a university situation through college. How's that going to be for you?
Yeah, quite different. So I spent the last 3 years, flipping burgers at Grilled. So I'm actually quite excited to sort of get back into studying, and I do miss the routine of waking up and studying and training. So I think that's the life I'm suited for, and I'm excited to get back into it.
Mate, so what happens now? So for the next 4 years, you stay at university. Is there a chance you get picked up by an NFL team before that, or do you have to wait till you've done the course? Where does it go?
It comes down to personal decision. So you can declare early for the draft, but I'm pretty set on my studies at the moment. So to do those full 4 years would be pretty awesome. Degrees all paid for as long as you're playing on the football team. So I'm just taking it one step at a time. If the NFL opportunity does come along, I'll obviously take it. But at the moment, just baby steps.
And of course, your other brother Oscar had time here at Maribyrnong as well. Just completed his year 12 over there at the IMG Academy. How are things going for him?
Yeah, very well. You know, he had a very, very good senior season. So basketball's quite competitive over here, as you can imagine. The sidelines were actually filled with cameras at the IMG games. You know, the big dunks and everything would be uploaded onto Instagram just, 20 minutes after the games would be completed. So
yeah,
it was quite unreal to see. And in terms of his process, he's not too far off himself. So, with obviously COVID affecting a lot of things, he's looking for a bigger opportunity, and I'm sure it'll come.
So I suppose as a final message to the kids that are watching this, Wilson, at the moment, that final message would be, it's great to have a plan B. Don't always rely on plan A to get you to where you want to get.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a plan B, but, the mindsets for all different sports are the same. The work you have to put in is, the relationship between that and any sport is pretty similar. So have a plan B, but, when you pick an option, go 100% and give it your all.
Wilson, thanks so much for your time, mate. Congratulations to you. Love to the whole family, who a lot of people here at Maribyrnong know, especially through Dad. Wishing you all the best, mate. Keep safe over there and good luck for the next 4 years.
Awesome. Thanks, Tony. Cheers.